Welcome back. Who better to get a take on the budget? I'm sure it won't run across party lines. Joining me now, Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister, Patrick Gorman, former Liberal MP Jason Falinski. Pat, we've heard about levelling up the playing field, and I thought, great income, humble PAYG income taxpayers, we must be getting a good deal. And had a look at the budget papers. Income tax as a percent of GDP, a record high, 12.8%. So those paying income tax, they're not getting a better deal, are they?
Oh, I think if you went to the other parts of the budget papers, Tom, you would see there was, of course, the Working Australians tax offset. That's $250 each and every year permanently. There's the $1,000 instant tax deduction, and there's a tax cut coming on 1 July this year and a tax cut coming on 1 July next year. And the big difference
they're all
between
factored
our
into
tax
that.
cut... I was just referring to the measures that are in the budget. And the big difference between the tax cuts that we're talking about and what we're seeing from the opposition is that all of our stuff is actually in the budget and costed. You can see it there. It's real.
OK. But all those measures are fine. The number that doesn't lie is the budget papers say over the next few years, 12.8%. So the tax take on income tax, 12.8% of GDP. In other words, we're never going to pay more income tax than by that stage. So you can say, here's an amount you're giving, and it sounds impressive, but bracket creep's galloping ahead of that, isn't it? That budget paper doesn't lie.
Oh, well, what we've known for a long time, and this is not news to you or to Jason, is that Australia does have a large reliance on income tax from people working, giving their effort to earn a wage. That's been an element of the Australian economy for many years. You can, whether you like that or not, that's up to you. But obviously this government has a very strong record when it comes to cutting tax. Cumulatively, all of the measures we've put in place saves your average worker about $2,800 a year. That's significant for working people.
But clearly behind bracket creep. Add them all up, that's fine. It's clearly behind if the percent of GDP keeps going up. Jason, for the coalition, the call on ending bracket creep to be believed, I guess, do we need to hear about all the savings to make sure it's affordable?
Oh, sure, Tom. I mean, what we've already seen in this budget is that there's a huge amount of fraud and waste going on, and this government hasn't touched on it. In fact, as Chris Joy pointed out, all the savings they're making are simply going directly into paying for their largesse in the public service. Patrick and I had an argument not that long ago about flat income tax, and it looks like the Labor Party's going to deliver on that within this decade, because we'll all be paying the top marginal tax rate. So I just, thank you for agreeing to my idea and implementing it, Patrick.
What about the top marginal tax rate? Because the coalition previously looked at it, even just the relatively modest increase to 200,000, because it was 180 in, I think, 2007. If it had gone along with inflation, it would be 280. Now it's 190, but the coalition's plan didn't look at that. Is it sort of scared off the politics of that, do you think, Jason?
No, I don't think it's scared off at all, Tom. I mean, the fact of the matter is that we have the highest income taxes in the world. They are punitively high, especially when you include the superannuation guarantee levy as well. It's probably some of the highest taxes, income taxes in the world, cutting in at the lowest income rates. And the fact is that, it is killing off any sense of people who want to have a go, who want to take a risk, who want to innovate. And the result of that is that, we have a country where people are just taking the safe course because it's the only rewarding one. And the result of that is that our living standards have been declining over the last 4 years.
Labor pledged to keep that stage 3, Pat. What do you make of the top marginal tax rate? I mean, it is very, very low when it kicks in, especially compared to not just around the world, but the last time it was increased in Australia. At some point, if you want to help out PAYG workers and what Jim Chalmers spoke about, aspirational Australians, do you have to revisit that at some point?
Yeah, well, we've always explained that the focus of our tax cuts have been on those on lower middle incomes. That's not to mean that there haven't been tax cuts that have flowed all the way through the system, as has happened with those reworked stage 3 arrangements, but also the additional tax cuts that we've got in this budget. But I think people understand that given the financial pressures that Australia faces when it comes to the significant headwinds we've had and, of course, the need to make sure that we're making responsible budget decisions, that we'll always look at income tax cuts. We look at that in every budget we've handed down, always trying to find ways to help people who are working hard to earn the money that they take home. And if we can help people earn a bit more and keep a bit more, that's a good thing, and we'll keep doing that.
No thought of those, trying to get a second round at the wine bars, Pat, maybe on a higher tax bracket, just wondering when it'll ever shift?
I'm not exactly sure what your question there is, Tom, but that wouldn't be the first time, and it probably won't be the last.
Look, Tom, if I can say,
get what I mean.
We are now in a situation
go, Jason.
where we have the highest income taxes in the world. There are a couple of countries that are higher than us, mostly in Africa, cutting in at the lowest income rates. We have the highest taxes on corporations in the world, certainly on the OECD. We now have the highest rates of taxation on capital. We are an incredibly highly taxed country. Debt under this government has gone up by $110 billion. The deficit is another $36 billion this year, not accounting for off-balance sheet spending like Snowy Hydro 2.0. The fraud, the waste and the abuse inherent in so many of the programs that are being run by government at the moment is problematic, and we are killing people who are the people who generate the wealth, generate the jobs, who are willing to take a risk. And the result of that is that all of us will be poorer very, very soon. And we've seen that already. We've been in a per capita recession, basically. Come on. Well, if you'd answered the question, I would have got a chance.
Why is it always such catastrophe from the Friends of the Liberal Party, Jason? You've said that we're killing people. You've said that, very soon everything's going to fall apart.
Oh, wow. This is getting a bit much.
Rewind it. Can we just have a sensible economic discussion rather than...
Might have been a figurative...
The three conservative
Let me guide our way towards
always
that,
running to the
Patrick.
extremes.
Well,
I'm
sorry that I'm bringing facts and inconvenient truths to this discussion, and that must be hurting people. But if you're killing people, Pat, this probably is a good time to confess to it, but I didn't know about any of that.
I believe it was a figurative reference, as it was from you, Jason. I'm going to move on there anyway. So the budget papers had immigration, we're overshooting immigration by 55,000, and Labor is behind on its housing targets, Pat. That's pretty simple, isn't it? You're making the housing crisis worse.
Oh, well, firstly, the figure that I also saw is that since we came to office, some 660,000 new homes have been built. There's more to do. But I'll tell you what won't help is the plan that Angus Taylor released.
It's a big figure. It doesn't mean anything with the amount of people that have arrived since then. It's
housing stocks have gone down
660,000.
under this government. This government created an $80 billion fund that's built something like 24 homes, Pat.
Yeah. Okay. So it does mean something. 660,000 homes means something to the people who are able to have a safe place to call home.
Not when we need more.
I'm saying the number by itself doesn't mean
anything. And if we go to the idea when it comes to what was put forward on budget reply night by Angus Taylor, which was to close the Housing Australia Future Fund. Now, I went and checked what would that mean in my electorate of Perth alone. That would mean 341 homes that have been built by that fund or invested in by that fund.
They haven't been built.
I
purchased.
assume they get, I don't know, what happens to them? Do they sell them off? Do they kick out the tenants? What happens to those people?
That's what the fund
All of these
did.
questions.
The fund took previously built houses and bought them. No. It hasn't built a single... Well, that's unfair. It's built very few new houses, Pat. That's why building starts under your government have gone down.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know the Liberal Party solution of doing even less helps. I don't see how that's going to help anyone.
Where's that coming from?
Housing Australia Future Fund, closing that
has
down,
done nothing.
341 people in my electorate kicked out on the street.
Oh,
thanks
come
to Angus
on.
Taylor. I don't see how that helps.
Now who's guilty of hyperbole?
It's the Liberal Party policy, Jason.
It's
you might not agree with it.
Sorry,
and that's
point
open
to where
you.
our policy is to kick people out on the street, Pat. Which
Well,
page
you're gonna
number?
close
Where
the
it doesn't
houses. You're gonna
exist,
close?
and you know it.
Well, no, you know that
right.
there is not a single costing for this policy. But if you've got the secret costings, please share them. What I do
please,
know
this is
I'm gonna jump
Housing
in.
Australia Future Fund,
All right.
341 people in
Pat,
my electorate
Jason.
rely upon that, all out in the street.
Sometimes I wonder
to
how
Angus
long
Taylor.
you two would go for if I just said nothing. Maybe I'll try that next week. I'll start with a question.
Oh, we'd start asking you questions. How did
don't
that
know
go, Tom?
How would that go, Tom?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. I just have to wrap because we're out of time. I'm going to try that 1 week, but I've sort of ruined the surprise now, haven't I, Patrick, Jason? Talk next week. I wanted to get to immigration. I'm sure it'll be on the topic then.